which you can see at 1 o'clock this afternoon if you wish. Also, you can comment on the state of Georgia's Senate runoff races. Again, Raphael Warnock defeating Kelly Loeffler in that race, and John Ossoff race and David Perdue's race is still yet to be determined. But you can call on either of those things for the next hour. 202-748-8000 for Democrats, 202-748-8001 for Republicans. And independents, 202-748-8002. You can text us if you wish at 202-748-8003. Post on Twitter, and you can post on our Facebook page as well. Here to discuss both those instances is Representative Hank Johnson of Georgia, Democrat from that state, serves the 4th District, and we thank you for joining us this morning.
I'm happy to be here, and Happy New Year.
Thank you very much for that. Your initial responses to the results as we are seeing them play out in those runoff races in Georgia?
I'm ecstatic that we're on the verge of flipping the United States Senate to the Democrats and away from the hands of the Grim Reaper, Mitch McConnell. It means so much for the nation. Not ready to claim the victory yet insofar as John Ossoff is concerned, but all indicators are looking good. There remain to be votes counted. Of course, Democrats stand for every vote being counted, including provisional balloting. And that curing process is something that will start at 9 a.m. this morning to make sure that everyone who filed provisional ballots have those ballots confirmed. And so we want to count every vote, but we feel like when all of the votes are counted, John Ossoff is going to end up the winner against David Perdue. He's already got about a 16,000 vote lead with a number of votes still to be tallied from DeKalb County, Fulton County, Henry County, which are 3 bastions of Democratic vote. So I think that margin will get larger and will probably exceed that which would require a recount. So I'm really ecstatic this morning for the people of Georgia and for the people of this nation.
What do you attribute Georgians as far as putting their faith behind 2 relative newcomers to politics as we are seeing that play out right now?
Well, Georgia represents the New South. It has accumulated at least one more congressional seat due to redistricting because of the numbers of people who've moved into Georgia over the last 10 years. Those people are younger, they're more educated, more erudite, more thoughtful, and they represent the new Georgia. They represent the New South. And we've got things like the entertainment industry, both film, music, have exploded in Georgia. People are moving there. It's a melting pot, and it's reflected in the fact that Georgia has been flipped from red to blue, not once for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, but now twice for Reverend Warnock and ultimately for John Ossoff.
What do you think the role that Stacey Abrams played in all of this?
Well, I want to thank her for her foresight, her tenacity, her energy, her vision. She started working on this prior to 2014 with a plan to register 1 million new voters in Georgia. She did it despite the fact that Republicans were kicking off voters from the voter rolls almost as soon as she could get them registered. But the people at Fair Fight have continued to fight. It looks like the battle now has been won. Her efforts are paying off. The citizens of the state of Georgia who went to the polls to vote are to be congratulated.
When moving to another subject, sir, when it comes to the joint session today, do you plan to be part of that?
It's no question that Georgia will be ground zero for this challenge to the electoral delegates. I expect to be involved today in arguing for the sanctity of the vote as it was manifested by Georgians going to the polls on November 3rd. Recounts, that the votes were counted 3 times. No question about the fact that Georgia had a clean election and the fact that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris won the election. It was by a mere 12,000 votes, but all you need is one to win. That's been affirmed 3 times. It's been affirmed in court 7 times. There's just simply no challenge that is viable to the counting of the delegates from Georgia, but nonetheless, a lame duck president who never won the popular vote in 2 elections has prevailed upon members of the Republican Party in the House and in the Senate to raise objections to the votes or to the Electoral College votes. It's going to end up being a meaningless exercise. It's going to waste a lot of time. The end result will be the counting of the ballots, which will show that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris won the Electoral College, as well as they won the popular vote by significant numbers. And so it's a landslide, both the popular vote and the electoral vote.
Your state also came into focus between that phone call with the president and Georgia's Secretary of State. In response to that, you are proposing an act of censure for that. Can you talk about where that is as far as that process?
Well, that's the least that we can do, is to go on record as being stringently opposed and condemn wholeheartedly the attempt of Donald Trump, the last-minute attempt of Donald Trump to interfere with the electoral result in Georgia, trying to get the Secretary of State to overturn a lawful election, trying to get him to actually violate the law, both federal and state. This censure resolution will put Congress on record as condemning that behavior, and it will leave a record of congressional action that will last for posterity. Unfortunately, we don't have time to impeach and convict and remove this president because he'll be out of the White House in about 14 days. So this was the appropriate route to go, in my opinion, and we've got over 100 co-sponsors who believe that same thing. And ultimately, I hope that we'll get this resolution on the floor and get it passed. It won't be before the president leaves office, but it can certainly happen after he leaves office.
Representative Hank Johnson, a resident of the state of Georgia, serves that state as the representative of the 4th District. Thank you so much for your time today, sir.
Thank you.